Live. There we are, going live. And let me go Facebook so we can share this. Welcome.
yeah.
This is the Technorama pre-show. Craig and I are just putting the final band-aids on the show.
Hello.
Yes.
I was saying hello to everybody.
Oh. You made that hello like, is my mic on? Is my
Yeah.
bandwidth working? Can you hear me? That kind of hello. So let me share as me. A couple times when I went to our Technorama podcast page and I said, no, changed from Technorama podcast to Chuck Tomasi, it just kind of hung there and did nothing. Not sure why they do that. And we'll share now public. Yay!
Chimpanzees. Okay, let's share that.
And then we wait for John Miller Jr. to show up.
That's right.
Oh, you saw the description?
Yeah, I was like, what in the world?
I was basing that off of the article that we had in there about the chimpanzees.
Oh, all right.
Like apparently chimpanzees are smarter than us. I also have an introduction at the ready when I introduce who we are. Something caught my eye the other day and I went, yeah, I got to use that for Technorama.
Right.
Okay, so it is, we got another minute or so. Nobody's showing up. That's not unusual.
We got one. We got
one. We got one.
It's like we're fishing. Oh, I got one.
Hello, one person. Reel him in.
That's right.
Can we make a Patreon member out of him?
Yeah. Oh, it's Ralph. Oh, it's just Ralph.
Too small. Throw it back.
Yeah.
Ralph on YouTube.
If anybody's watching this
later,
I'll give you a warning up front. I've had a cold for the last several days, and I'm actually feeling better, but I'm on the tail end of it. So if you hear me coughing, I'm going to try and mute my, while I'm coughing, if I have to cough or anything.
It's not the COVID.
No, actually, you know what? I
did you get tested?
One of our, we have those free tests from the government, the ones that they were mailing out. So I did take one. I did burn one. No, it's not COVID.
No, Craig, you signed up for the wrong test and you get the pregnancy test. You're not pregnant either.
Oh, that's why there was a plus there.
It would have been scary if that had come back positive.
Yeah. Oh, that explained a lot.
That uncontrollable weight gain. Whew, I tell you.
Yeah, right. No, I did burn one of those tests, and it said it was supposed to be, I think it was 2 lines if you were positive.
Yeah.
It was just 1.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what's funny is I didn't want to be one of those people that every time I go, oh, I coughed. Let me do the COVID test. I didn't want to be like that. But after a couple of days, I was like, I better check this just to make sure that I'm not passing anything around I shouldn't be.
Well, the best time to take a test is when you've got, nasal fluid to swab. So after every sneeze, stick a cotton swab up your nose and see what happens.
See what happens. Right.
All right, I'm ready to begin. Are you?
No, but okay.
Recording in 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 668, Hairband Extravaganza. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Technorama, the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time listening or watching us, thank you very much for joining us. If you are returning, well, you know the drill. We're the Lenny and Squiggy of podcasting. We've got the clothes, we got the attitude. It's just we're not being taken seriously on this show for some reason. We're not that cool.
Well, after 17 years, we're still not taken seriously.
They were like the losers of the greasers. We're in there for podcasting.
Right.
We walk in the room and go, hello.
Hello. That's right.
Usually right after somebody says something like slime or dirt or whatever. You got to have a cue to walk in on. I'm Chuck Tomasi from sunny Phoenix, Arizona. I'll be Squiggy. No, I'll be Lenny. He was taller. And Craig, you can be Squiggy. How are you, Craig?
I think I'm okay.
Hey, I'm gonna my goal is to make you laugh so hard you cough again.
Oh, don't do that. Actually, yeah, heads up. I mentioned this on the pre-show, but I thought we were going to have a pre-show a little longer than we did. But if you're listening to the show, I'm going to try and mute myself. I had a cold for the last few days. So I'm at the tail end of it, but I get that little cough and sniffle phase. I'm almost done.
Okay.
Yeah. So just letting you know ahead of time.
All right, let's jump right into our question of the week. I like this one.
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today.
Look,
reach a letter, pull one out.
Ding.
Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
Our question of the week this time was, what character, book, or movie name would be a great band name? Okay, so Craig, would you like to start going through the Technorama ones, and we'll alternate around till we run out?
Sure. So
what do you got?
Weber Baker says, from Lord of the Rings, 9 walkers. That's a good one. Or 9 dark riders.
Wasn't it the Night Walker?
9 walkers.
Okay. Or Walker, Texas Ranger. Gary Lindro says the Untouchables. I like, that's a good band name. I could see that.
Mike Robeson says Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Okay, Gary's got another one. He says Zardox. What kind of band name is Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance?
I don't know. I kind of like it though.
Okay, Zardox.
Wait a minute.
That's a band name from what, 60s or 70s, I think.
Right. So he wasn't done. So we had Thumper, Fiver.
Yeah.
Stumbled across, and then he said he stumbled across these looking up half-forgotten books. Everybody Poops.
That's a good band name right there. That's a book, actually.
Everybody Poops. The Joy of Chickens. The Do-It-Yourself Lobotomy. Cooking with Pooh. I think it was with an
Pooh.
H.
That's a band name. Cooking with Pooh.
I was thinking like the bear Pooh, but
no, anyway, that would have an H on the end of it.
I know, you're right. The book title I was looking for turned out to be longer than I remembered. The Jewish-Japanese Sex and Cookbook, How to Raise the Wolves.
All right, Myron Dupler's gone into the Scott Sigler library. He says these would be good band names. Nocturnal. I like that. It's a good band name. Or Earthcore. Another one.
Yeah.
Good.
Clinton Alvord, our buddy over the topic is trek.com. He said,
I'll give him a bell for that one.
There you go. He said Firestarter. That could be good. The Outer Limits, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, excuse me, and Zappa Beeblebrox.
Well, there was a comment on that one, wasn't there? Like, what do you have, two lead guitars or something?
He said, wondering if Zappa Beeblebrox has 2 lead singers, 2 lead singers, excuse me. Yeah, why not?
They could sing.
Actually, I imagine he would, if he was playing guitar, I imagine he'd be one of those people that had like the 2 guitars, like 2 necks on the guitar.
Oh, sure. And he'd be singing a song like My Endless Love because he loves himself. Okay.
That's right.
I'm gonna steal one off of your list, Mike. Not Mike Robeson. Where's my Craig Step one? Oh, Mike Robeson shared also, but he didn't get any comments.
3 shares.
Darn it. Where's Craig's? Craig share says The Hunt for Red October from Gary Lindros. That's a good band name.
Right.
All right. Are we out of answers there? Yeah.
No. Not at all.
Keep going.
All right. So Mike Robeson continued with Damnation Alley.
Good. I like it.
Soylent Green.
Yep. That's a good band name. Are you sure that's not already taken? I'm going to have to check the karaoke library on that one.
It's the people. And To Serve Man. See, questionable.
Good band name.
And our buddy Steve London said The Hobbits with a Z. Slow rock.
Dance band.
Dance band.
Okay. Yeah.
And he said, we had in the 70s and 80s hundreds of small bands touring the country. They all played the same music, 4x4 beats or bit rocky, and funny costumes due to some sort of taxation rules regarding stage clothes.
So they went to the thrift store.
He said, and many of them had names that were added with the letter Z or X or other fantastic names.
Oh, Okay.
That's pretty interesting. Oh,
Like
he shared a link. He shared a
Neelix.
link to Pinterest. Pinterest, you can go see some of the bands. Yeah.
Oh, that would be a good question of the day on the next Star Trek cruise. What Star Trek character, race, or it would be a good band name? Neelix.
Andorians.
Tuvok.
Oh, and John Miller Jr. said, call the band the Mega Man Experience.
Okay.
Mega Man.
All right, I got a quiz for you.
Okay.
I'm calling this movie, book, or band name.
Book or band.
Yep, you have to tell me, is this the name of a movie, name of a book, or a name of a band name?
I gotta think.
Now, I did a real quick test on this with Scott Tyler yesterday, and he got like the first 3 out of 3, but then we ran out of time. So, Yesterday Girl. Movie, book, or band name?
Book.
Oh, so sorry.
Yes, it's not
That is the name of a movie.
Is it?
Yes. Okay. Living with Crazy Buttocks.
What? Book.
Yes, there you go. You get a Mario coin for that one. Porno for Pyros.
Oh, that's an album.
That wasn't a choice. It's movie, book, or band name.
Oh, band name. Excuse me, band name. Not album. It was a band name.
Pyromania was an album by Def Leppard.
I knew that.
There
album,
you go. You're two for one.
Okay.
Yeah. Outskirts.
Band name.
No, that would be a movie.
Actually, that one wouldn't be that bad for band name.
Panic at the Disco.
Another band name.
Yes, there you go. I think Julie or Will was singing that when they were here. The Ape Woman.
Movie.
Yes. There you go. They're going to get a little harder as we go. Femrock. THEMROC.
Band name.
No, that's a movie.
That's a movie?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Royal Knits. KNITS. Royal Knits.
That sounds like a band name.
That is a book.
What's it about?
I have no idea. I didn't read these. I just Man on a Swing.
Book.
Movie.
Because I'll say that's the boringest movie.
Okay.
Just for an hour, 2 hours.
Watching a man on a swing. Almost as much fun as Man on a Rocking Chair.
Yeah.
Maximo Park.
Band name.
Yes.
Okay.
I wonder if it's anywhere near Lincoln Park. I'm not sure. Okay, let's keep going. This is way too much fun.
All right.
Half Asleep in Frog Pajamas.
I want to say band, but I'm going to say book.
It is a book. Yay!
Okay.
Gets it. Okay. The Mr. T Experience. Joe would know this one.
Band.
That is a band. You are absolutely correct. Okay. I can't say this one with a straight face. God's Doodle.
Movie?
Book?
What in the hell is that book about?
I don't want to know. Hopefully there's no illustrations.
Nah.
All right. Deadlock.
Deadlock. Book.
Movie.
Oh.
I'm not guaranteeing that some of these movies weren't books first, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't.
Right. Okay.
Light Lark. All one word.
Light Lark.
LIGHTLARK. Light Lark.
Band.
No, that would be a book.
Oh.
Okay, you better get this one. I heard about it in college. The Dead Milkmen.
Oh, it's a band.
Yay! Okay. How about Mount Joy?
I'm more of an Almond Joy kind of guy, but
not candy bars.
Oh, okay. Not candy bar. Mount Joy book.
Banned.
Really?
Now, I will say that I'm pretty sure none of these are pornographic, so you can take Mount Joy as a movie any way you want.
Wait, you said movie?
Mount Joy is a band.
Okay.
Fashion Cats.
Fashion Cats. Movie?
Book.
That's a book.
I thought that'd be a good band name, too.
It's a self-published books, because
The Laziest Men on Mars.
now I could get behind that as a band name. I'm gonna go band name.
You would be absolutely correct on that
There
one,
you
sir.
go.
Oh.
There we go.
Theory of a Dead Man.
Book.
Band.
Really?
Okay, I got a couple more for you.
All right.
Bodybuilders in Tutus.
Book.
That is a book, yes.
I can imagine a bunch of pictures.
I just want to see the band.
It's a picture book. Yeah, right.
If you thought Devo was crazy. Okay. The White Reindeer.
Book.
Movie.
What?
Movie.
I don't remember seeing that one or hearing about it.
I don't remember hearing about any of these, Craig. The King's Stilts. You're going to kick yourself on this one.
Band.
Book by Dr. Seuss.
It's Dr. Seuss?
Yes. I thought I'd throw that one in there.
The King's Stilts?
The King's Stilts, yes. Okay, one more. Pat Symmetry, not Pet Cemetery. Pat Symmetry.
Pat Symmetry. Book.
Band. I wasn't keeping score, but I think you did pretty well. Considering these were really obscure things.
I don't think it did too bad, but I want to go find some of these bands now.
The points are meaningless and nobody's keeping score anyway. So
that's right.
Good job,
Craig.
There
you go. There's the King Stilts right there. It's
Yep.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss, you're right.
Yep. All right. That takes care of our feedback and our fun game.
Another letter from our listener, Dave.
We may bring that again. Bring that back again from time to time.
That was kind of fun. I'll be honest with you. There was some. Oh well, I mentioned it. There was a lot of them in there. I would go, that could be a cool band name. But,
it could be a cool band name. That's what I said. I wanted to see the bodybuilders in tutus.
Right.
All right. Let's do the history. On this day in history for March 23rd, 2022, it is the 82nd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 283 days remaining in 2022. It was on this date in 1806, after traveling through the Louisiana Purchase. Did they have a receipt for that?
Yes.
And reaching the Pacific Ocean, explorers Lewis and Clark and their, quote, core of discovery began their arduous journey home. They just got to the Pacific Ocean, went up, turn around. Oh, was somebody supposed to be making a map? We got to find our way home.
Oops.
Call
so
Uber.
Alicia Otis's first elevator was installed in 1488 Broadway, New York City, on this date in 1857, which is funny because I've noticed the word Otis in a bunch of elevators in Charlotte.
That's where the name comes from. You'll find that most elevators are Northwestern, Schindler, Otis, or what's the one I'm missing? Oh, I had it. I should have said it first. No, I'll figure it anyway. It's one of those weird things I pay attention to.
The King Stilts.
King Stilts, right. Actually, it was, Otis's elevator gave, no pun intended, actually, I do intend a pun here, gave rise to the advent of the American big city skyline, the high rises. Mm-hmm. Skyscrapers would not be possible without elevators.
That's right.
That same date in 1965, NASA launched Gemini 3, or as they used to call it, Gemini 3, the United States' first two-man space flight with crew Gus Grissom and John Young.
And also on March 23rd, 1983, President Ronald Reagan made his initial proposal to develop technology to intercept enemy missiles known as Strategic Defense Initiative, or Star Wars.
Montgomery elevators. That's the one I was trying to remember.
Oh, Montgomery.
I knew it. It came to me halfway through your sentence.
I've
Like,
seen
I don't know
Otis
why.
everywhere. I haven't noticed any other ones, but Otis.
Northwestern and Schindler was a popular one. It was on this date in 2001 that the Russian Mir space station was disposed of, breaking up in the atmosphere before falling into the southern Pacific Ocean near Fiji. Happy birthday goes on this date to American botanist and explorer John Bartram, born on this date in 1699.
And Pierre Simon Laplace. There you go.
Your place or mine?
Yeah. French mathematician and astronomer, was born on that same day in 1749.
Also born March 23rd, 1754, Slovene mathematician, physicist, and artillery officer Yuri Vega.
An English geologist and cartographer, William Smith, was born 253 years ago today.
Good job with that name.
It's kind of old.
William Smith.
Thank you.
Susan Jane Cunningham. No relation to Richie Cunningham. The American mathematician was born on that same date in 1842.
And born March 23rd, 1882, German-American mathematician, physicist, and academic, Emmy Noether.
German-American physicist and engineer, Werner von Braun, the rocket guy. Yeah, you know him. He was born 110 years ago today.
And Ludwig Ladavev, the Russian mathematician and physicist, was born 88 years ago today.
American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer from the Cars, Rick Ocasek, or Ocasek, as they say in the old country, was born 78 years ago today.
Oh my gosh, he's 78?
Yep.
No kidding.
Wow, it's magic.
I'm having a crisis here for a second.
Hello again.
Mm.
Your turn.
Oh, wait, my turn. I'm sorry, I'm still reeling from the 78 years ago. American singer-songwriter Chaka Khan was born on this date. Chaka Khan? That's right. Was born on this date in 1953.
Which would make her
78.
69. Okay,
69.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
Suddenly, these people aren't massively older than us. What happened? Like 69 is right around the corner.
I'll bring up something in a minute, but I'll tell you.
Listener birthdays last week, since we didn't have a show, and this week include March 16th, Michelle Lopez, a.k.a. Country Signs. Haven't heard from her in a long time. Hope you're out there safe and everything's cool. Greg Lemon is on the 18th. 19 is JT Shea. Wow, we miss you, JT. The 19th is also former owner of this studio and house, Michael R. Meningay. I did text him and have a nice conversation for a while.
And some of the items that are still in your home?
Yes. No, he's not the owner of some of the items in the home.
No. Well, no, yeah, you're right.
21st is, we got to wrap this up. We're running to the end. 21st is Crazy Joe Fiore from Megapodtastic, et cetera, et cetera. And Steve Rickyberg on the 23rd, along with Richard Parkman. 25th birthday is Nick St. Gabriel, or Nicholas, as he's written here. And then some schmuck named Chuck Tomasi.
Yeah, some jerk.
Just call him Lenny.
Why is he even on this list?
And also on the 26th is Brenna Baird from Hampton, Virginia. And Mark Blackburn on the 29th from the America at War podcast. He's currently cruising through the Civil War, which takes a while.
Hey, Steve Rickyberg, I think he's 78 today.
He passed us up. He was younger. He was a teenager forever. That's the way it was on this day in history for March 23rd, 2022. Did you get my banner up there for how you get your name on the birthday calendar?
No, but I will do that right now.
Go over to chuckchat.com/birthday. There we are. For those that are watching on video live or later. What did
I still see Steve Rickyberg as a teenager, although he's not.
No, I don't know why. He's far from a teenager now.
Yeah, I mean, we've known him for a long time, but, well, he was a teenager 17 years ago when we started out.
Yeah, and Harrison was like 4.
I know. I'll tell you this, it was kind of funny. Kim and I went out for a drink, and we were talking. It was kind of slow. We were talking with a bartender, and he's not from my hometown, However, he was sharing some stories about a couple of the older bars that were in town. I was like, "Oh yeah, I used to DJ there. Oh, I used to go there all the time." Well, he was like, "Oh, you worked there? When I was there, it was like in 2007." I was like, "Oh no, 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 no." I was like, I was like, "No, I was there a lot earlier than that." And then I
Yeah.
realized, okay, he's talking about different eras of
Back
those
when it was a
places.
bowling alley.
Yeah. I was like, oh my
So
gosh.
every time I hear that song "Come Dancing" by the Kinks, that's what I think of. They put a parking lot on a piece of land where the
Oh yeah,
supermarket used to stand. Before that, they put up a bowling alley on the side that used to be the local pally.
that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
You just,
that's kinda how everybody's town goes, especially when you move away and then you go visit again, like, "What? What
yeah.
happened to the hospital? How do you get rid of a hospital?"
Well, I was born in a hospital. That's not a hospital anymore here in town.
I went to school in a school that's not anymore. Alright, let's get on with the
All right,
random.
Good news,
enough old man
crybabies.
stuff. There you go.
Yeah.
Enough old man stuff.
Speaking of old man, we got good news, crybabies.
Mhm.
This old man, he thinks he knows how long it'll take us to get to Mars. So Elon Musk has made a prediction that we will be on Mars 2029 is what he says. I think he's trying to pull a JFK and saying before this decade is out, we'll send a man to Mars.
I
But
don't. He may not be that far off because I mean he's got the
could be.
rocket. He's got the whole thing ready to go.
The thing I found interesting in this whole article, aside from his predictions, because you never really can trust what Elon's saying these days. He goes
Mhm.
on about, oh, we're gonna go public. No, we're not. He's like, "Pfft." I don't know why the SEC isn't all over that guy's buttocks, but the
Well, they are.
it
Well,
says
STC. I'm sorry. Yeah.
it says a SpaceX site has dubbed the mission Dear Moon, and Japanese billionaire and space tourist Yusaka Mizawa will be among the crew for the 2023 mission. The Starship vessel, being an asset of a private company, comes with a user guide so customers can find out if working with SpaceX is right for them.
Hmm.
And yeah, if you click the link through the show notes on episode 668 at Technorama, I almost said the topic is trick. At our
Right.
site, chuckchat.com/Technorama, you can find a PDF to this user guide. It's only 6 pages. It's amazing. This isn't an owner's manual, an operation manual, okay? It's just a user guide. Revision
No,
1.0, March 2020.
it's kind of interesting though. Look at the payload deployment sequence, and it has like the front of it, the
It's got
front of
some
the capsule
technical
kind of
looking
opens up.
charts in it,
Yeah,
and tables and pictures. Talks about the performance and the crew configuration, the cargo configuration, additional
I'm telling you,
capabilities. Let's see,
if
what does it
it,
say? Fully reusable Starship and Super Heavy systems are expected to allow for space-based activities that have not been possible since the retirement of the Space Shuttle and Space Transportation System, or have never been possible before. With a fully reusable Starship, satellites can be captured and repaired in orbit, returned to Earth, or transferred to a new operational orbit. For more information on additional capabilities or to conceptualize new ideas, please contact sales@spacex.com.
sales. Hey, whatever you think about Elon, you got to give him credit for reading a lot of this old science fiction, having a vision, and making it possible.
Transporters and flying cars. Come on, Elon, get on the stick.
Yeah,
Nobody asked for a vertically landed
I mean,
rocket.
you know what I'm saying. He's making his vision possible. So, and
Yep.
he's getting closer to anybody, whether we're going to be in Mars in 7 years or not. He's closer than anybody. So
I don't blame him. I blame his board for not sticking up for the crap he gets away with. Anyway, we're not turning this into a political podcast
no,
yet.
yeah,
All right, you want to start with the next story about this
yeah,
amazing technique?
yeah. So this new spinal cord stimulation study puts people with paralysis back on their feet.
And yes, it does.
Yes. So the in the video here, Michael Roccotti, am I saying his name right?
Yep.
Roccotti lost the ability to walk after a motorcycle accident in 2017 when he had a complete spinal cord injury. But today, equipped with electrode device implanted on his spinal cord, which is not necessarily anything new, but it's more possible for him to walk than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Than people have done it before. Excuse me. But today, equipped with electronic device implanted in his spinal cord, Riccati can enjoy simple things again, like standing at a bar for drinks with friends, um, taking a shower without a chair or any
Mm-hmm.
assistance, I assume,
Mm-hmm.
or even strolling around the town with a walker.
That's pretty cool. And if you watch the video, he is walking in a bit of a robotic motion. It's not very fluid. It's a little strip about a centimeter and a half wide by what it looked like about 10 centimeters long
Yeah,
with
right,
some contacts on it. It almost looks like one of those strips when you get the like the multicolor LED strips from Hue or something. Only
right.
rip the LEDs off and stick it to your back. But this goes inside the spinal column. So it's laying like on your bundle of nerves, but inside of the bones, the vertebrae.
Yes.
And there's some kind of external controller, it looks like, that triggers the nerves when to fire. Now, I don't know. It didn't say whether or not he's got any feeling or sensation because when he takes a step, I swear it looks like his shin hits the front of that walker every time,
Oh,
but
yeah,
he never
yeah.
flinches or says "ow," but he's making way, and they've only inserted this on 3 people, so they're not fully clinically trialed yet, but the results are encouraging, and they wanna get, like, 50 to 100 people wearing these so they can find out what works better on some people and other people and,
Kinda come with
fine-tune it.
come up with a middle lane so you can kinda figure out where to
Yeah,
start off with.
the way these people are walking, like I said, is a little robotic. It's like a jerky, herky-jerky kinda step.
Mhm. Yeah.
Looks like they need some kinda A to D converter on this device.
Or some fine tuning for at
Yeah,
least.
but hey, if you were paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair and suddenly you could stand at a bar and take a drink or,
Mhm.
walk your way even with a walker, that's that's pretty monumental. That would
I'm pretty
be amazing.
I'm almost sure I saw yeah, wasn't it in the video? I can't play right now, but I saw where he was, like, sitting and his friends were standing up, and it's like his body just kinda rose up and was
I didn't see
a
him
little
get out of the
robot
chair, but I might have
maybe
missed
what
it.
maybe it wasn't this video, but I remember seeing a video of him, and looked like you said, a little bit robotic, but he was able to stand up, and he was just standing there at a table at, like, a high top with his friends having a drink, which was
Plus all
amazing.
this work, I mean, has gotta be good for the legs and for the circulation because people in wheelchairs, their
Just
limbs
movement in
tend
general, yeah.
they get big beefy arms, but their legs get atrophied from
Yeah.
not working. So now you're working them again, and,
Mhm.
that's gotta be good.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
We like it. Also yep. Oh, sorry. Did you were gonna say
I
something?
was just I was gonna say, I see the paralyzed monkeys regain control of their legs and after the
Okay.
brain
No.
implant.
Back
Hey,
they're
and the
chimps,
monkeys
not monkeys.
hey,
Know the
and
difference
the
if you're
monkeys
apes.
were able to stand at the bar and have a drink with their friends.
Well, pretty darn close. This is a behavior that I wouldn't have expected in chimpanzees, not monkeys. Monkeys have tails.
Right.
Apes don't, and chimps are apes. Yeah, just it's like the different. It's like calling a dolphin a fish. You just
Right.
don't go there. So anyway, the scientist Alessandra Moscato, she was checking out these chimpanzees and noticed that this mother ape uh, was taking care of her little baby ape,
Mhm.
her little baby chimp, and the chimp
Uh-huh.
had a cut, an open wound on the bottom of its foot, and that got to be painful, whether you're a human or a chimp or whatever.
Sure.
And she took this insect off of a nearby plant, just grabs this insect, chews it up a little bit, makes a paste out of it or a poultice, and then smears it on the baby chimp's foot. Like, whoa, she just went to the drugstore and, I never would have thought chimps could do something like that. Now, they have seen observations before where chimps self medicate. Maybe they're hanging out, whatever the equivalent of coca leaves are.
Smoking a little weed.
Yeah, you know, those bonobos, they're crazy. But I to be able to take care of one another, A, show empathy, and B, I don't know where she got this knowledge, if it's now passed on, if there's some way to
Yeah.
communicate, like, "Hey, you see the bug with the yellow spots? Chew it up, and it helps your hurt stop hurty." Uh, so that's pretty cool, and it makes you wonder if there's other, like, pharmacological things that they know that we just haven't seen yet. Or maybe it's just this one tribe? Don't know. If every tribe has its own, uh, it begs a lot of questions.
Well, the reason I was fascinated by this was because, you know, they were watching chimpanzees trying to, a long time ago, they were talking about how animals don't use tools, and then you
Mhm.
you see them using a stick to get the ants out of an ant hill, or starting to use things as tools, and then you see something like this. It's like, whoa, this is an even bigger
Yes.
leap to go. Oh, this thing helps fix this thing.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
How did they figure out that cause and effect? Maybe they were chewing on some of these bugs and went, "My tongue is now numb. So,
Right.
if my tongue is numb, maybe it'll feel better if your foot is numb instead of hurting." So, it could be a cause and effect thing like that, but just to
I would be
remember.
super. I'd be super impressed if this was passed down kind of knowledge from one chimp to another.
Yeah, what you didn't see is she had a copy of the physician's desk reference, the PDR, off to the side going,
Grey's
"Oh,
Anatomy.
we're not
Grey's
supposed
Anatomy over there.
we're not supposed to mix black and yellow bug with orange bug, or you'll have some crazy side effect.
Right.
And stay away from those tea leaves." That's
Right.
pretty amazing stuff, though.
Hmm.
That was an article we found from Ars Technica. So, yes, nature continues to amaze. They're not just dumb animals, people. They're
No, they're
actually
not.
sentient beings. All right, let's give a quick shout out to the chat room. We've got a couple people hanging out with us. We've got, we mentioned Ralph earlier, Ralph Wangler, and Mike Robeson is hanging out. Thank you very much, everybody, for checking us out. There may have been other people that have drifted in and out, but didn't leave a comment. We don't know, but hope to see you. Normally, we do the show on Sunday nights, but of course, Craig was not feeling well last night, so we moved it
Yeah.
to Monday night this time. And we will do our best to get our Patreon show out to you as fast as possible,
Yeah.
because this
I
normally
wasn't
would have been
sounding any better last night. I can tell you that for sure.
sounded like a chimpanzee with a bug in his mouth. My tongue is
That's
numb.
right.
Should we do the remember when thing? Let's do remember when. I like always looking back and seeing what we can find. Well, you want to start this one?
No, you start it. Go ahead.
Okay. Another one from Ars Technica.
Mm-hmm.
Researchers used a 379-year-old algorithm to crack crypto keys that were found in the wild.
Hey, I won't lie. The title got me right off the bat. It was like 379 years ago.
So what happened was, for the longest time, cryptography was using this safe zone crypto library, but it was cracked because there was a flaw. They weren't using prime numbers that were sufficiently far apart, which made it easier to guess what the primes were, decrypt them, et cetera, et cetera. So
Sure.
Inside Secure, it was acquired by Rhombus as part of its 2019 acquisition of Verimatrix, as a Rhombus representative said. And that version was, of course, deprecated prior to the acquisition and is distinct from a FIPS certified version with the company. I'm not going to get deep into the security and tell you what FIPS stands for, et cetera, but let me get to the good part of this article, because cryptographers have long known, I mentioned the two prime number things, the difference between those two primes was really small, so the safe zone vulnerability is tracked down. You can read all about it in CVE-2022-26320. Cryptographers have long known that RSA keys that are generated with primes that are too close together can be trivially broken. Now, mathematicians will appreciate this, especially those of you that went to college, with Fermat's factorization method. French mathematician Pierre de Fermat first described this method in 1643. His algorithm was based on the fact that any odd number can be expressed as the difference between two squares. When I never even thought about that, but that's a pretty cool thing. Who comes up with these things? When the factors are near the root of the number, they can be calculated easily and quickly, and this method isn't feasible when factors are truly random and hence far apart. So there's a section here that says, mind your P's and Q's.
Right.
So they use those two factors are typically denoted in these formulas as P and Q. So when P and Q are known publicly, the key that is made up is broken, meaning anyone can decrypt their data protected by the key or use the key to authenticate messages. And
Wow.
that's not good. This goes for like your HTTPS traffic and more.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, so why didn't somebody know about this and test it with this 379-year-old algorithm way back
Well, maybe
when?
somebody didn't go to college and understand what Fermat's factorization
I think
method
it was
was.
just an application of a very old algorithm. They weren't thinking of, "Oh, here's something that deals with the squares of two numbers," and, oh my, this could be used to crack these numbers." It sounds like it was an effect and a cause, not a cause and effect, or, they
It's
sort
also
of reverse engineered and went, "Oh, you know what? Now that we know that, we could have used this." Is kinda how
one of
I
those
got it.
things where, computers are not good at, I know we're not talking about random numbers, but, coming up with patterns on its own, like random, whenever you generate random numbers and on computers, you have to use a seed to kind of give it a little more
Right,
even
right.
randomness.
But if you had a list of, let's say you took all the prime numbers between 1 and a million, okay? That's a
Hmm.
finite set. And you said, "Okay, computer, give me 2 random numbers." You could still do a secondary check to say, "Are you 2 even in the same neighborhood?" I mean, you should be at least,
Yeah.
20 apart
Right.
or 50 apart or whatever the number is to say, "Okay, minimum of 50 digits, 50 slots, in an index, if say prime number 2 is at index 1, prime number
Right.
3 is at index 2, then you go 5 and 7 and 11 and 13, and you've got these slots of prime numbers. Certainly you don't want to go, "Give me 2 random numbers." It goes 2 and 3. Like, not good enough.
Yeah. Not good
How
enough.
about 2 and 271? We're getting there a little bit better. Okay. So I think you just need to put in a second pass to that filter.
Yeah.
Or say
Yeah.
at
Absolutely.
a minimum of this high. I mean, you could define that finite set any
Well,
way
it's
you want
funny.
it to.
I'm actually doing something like that at work.
Oh dear.
Not to that degree,
You're
but
you're cracking encryption keys?
no.
Oh,
But talking about the randomness not being random enough is that for it's hard to explain without really getting in deep into what I do, but I've had several times where see I spin up virtual machines for labs. So here's a lab and it's got a unique name for DNS
yep.
names.
Yep.
All right, so the other day, this one lab got spun up and the DNS was getting removed automatically. I was like, why in the world is that getting removed? And when you go in and look, it actually had the same name as a lab from a year ago,
Oops.
and my system was like, "Oh, it's terminated. Let's remove them." I was like, "No, no, no, it's not terminated." So I had to change a few things to make it look for the right
You
ones, of
didn't
course.
do
But
cleanup a year ago.
oh well, oh Chuck, you have no idea. Well, yeah. Let me put it this way:
Your cleanup routines fell
I have
asleep.
not deleted any lab records, and again, I can go into this in more detail for everybody that don't know. For the last 7 years, I've been doing the system I got. I had 637,000 lab records, so it was inevitable that some of them would be the same. So it was just unfortunate.
Yep.
It's one of those things. I go, why is it doing this? And after about an hour, you go, oh, you can
It
figure it
sounds
out.
like you need one more filter that says, "And active is true."
Well, yeah, actually, a little sorting made the difference, but
Okay.
I figured it out.
Let's give our Patreons a huge thanks and then go into Pass Me the Remote because we've got some really good shows to talk about here.
All right.
Oh, there's some music back there. There it is. All right. Thank you to our patrons. They are the people that support this show financially. As little as $1 a show. We really, really do appreciate it. We've got some expenses coming up, and thanks to them, we know that we're covered, which means this show will continue coming to you through the end of the year. That's our hope. They also get a special episode, which we will be recording right after this. It is not as formal as this. It's Craig and I just batting ideas back and forth like a
not as formal as this.
terrible tennis game is what it's more like.
Right.
Train wreck in slow motion. There's a band name. Okay. Thank you, Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman. Thank you very much, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris MC, Dan D-Man Coyer. Thank you, Dean Jensen and Denise Inglis. And Gary Lindros, whom we mentioned earlier in our comments.
That Gary Lindros?
That Gary Lindros.
Okay.
John Clifford and John Noble. Yorga Shrawan and Kyle Nishioka. We also have Leon. Thank you, long-term members. Mark Kilfoyle, Matt Baum, Mike Wills, Chris Martinez, Saturday Morning Media. Still wondering who would name their kid Saturday, but hey, the Addams family had Wednesday, and Robinson Caruso had Friday. Stephen Weshy, Steve Therian, Steve Cody, and Sweet Steve London from Sweden. Thank you to all of them. They went to the link you see on the screen right there, patreon.com/Technorama podcast, and they got themselves in the club. They get to listen to that special content, all for that limited price offer. Now, you can do it for as low as $1. We're always appreciative if you have more than $1 in your pocket.
Yeah.
That helps.
Gotta have some tip money.
Software upgrades, bandwidth, live streaming costs. It adds up after a while. But you know what? It's been like 4 or 5 years that our wives have not gotten angry at us for taking money out of the kids' college fund.
Yeah, there's plenty other things for them to get angry at us for, but not that.
Well, not to mention that my kids are out of college.
Mine's
I can be
mine's still in college.
Stealing from the grandkids' college fund at this point.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the pass the remote. Kick us off with a good one.
So, it looks like we both watched The Adam Project on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
They really pulled out the stars for this one, didn't they? Felt like I was watching a Marvel movie at some point.
I know. We had Ryan Reynolds for sure.
Yep.
And then
Zoe Saldana. Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. And it was a little bit on the formulaic, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought Ryan Reynolds, and I do not have the kid's name in front of me, I thought they really worked well together, which was really cool.
Yes. So the idea was this man from the future in the year 2050 comes back and meets his 12-year-old self.
Yes.
And stops off in 2022, but that was a mistake. He was aiming for 2018 to try and prevent something from happening that sets the timeline off course. And his dad is involved. And we don't want to spoil it for you, but I thought for sure that if they took care of the baddies, that dad wouldn't die. I thought they were responsible for dad's death. And I was really kind of disappointed that didn't have a happier ending than it did.
They kind of stated what happened to him at one point.
They just said he died in a car crash, but you didn't know if it was, if it was malicious. That's what the word I was looking for.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. What would you say?
It had that it wasn't quite as off the cuff, lighthearted goofiness as Deadpool, knowing Ryan Reynolds, but it did have some points in there that they came home, and I laughed out loud more than a few times on that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some good stuff in there.
And there were some heartfelt moments too. So like at the end.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So I thought they did a good job with it. And again, it's on Netflix. It's not like you're going to see it in the theater, so go check it out, The Adam Project.
Yep. I got one for you. The Andy
Okay.
Warhol Diaries, also on
Yes.
Netflix.
Mhm.
6-part series, about an hour each episode, some a little longer, some a little shorter.
Okay.
And, I knew about Andy Warhol in the '80s as he was, later in his career. Knew him as the soup can guy. Remember
Yep.
him from the Cars video, Hello Again. So,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
he
Yeah, I
was
almost
he
forgot
was a
about that. You're right.
bartender in that, yeah. And, but I really didn't know much about his life, and this really goes in. He wrote a diary for, like, the last 10 years of his life, from the mid to late '70s up until the time he passed in '87, I wanna say it was.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was like mid yeah, you're right. Yep.
and, it was a really interesting story because they get into the whole AIDS scare. A lot of his friends were gay and, were taken by the HIV AIDS thing. Uh, it really put a spotlight on some of the other artists too. Um, I'm trying to remember, um, some of their names. I'm totally you'll see their art and go, "Oh, that's who did that."
Right.
So very entertaining. It is a slow-paced show, okay?
Hmm.
You're not gonna get
Okay.
any action. I mean, Andy Warhol was a very deadpan guy, very moderate. He was a genius in terms of his art, but he never called attention to himself. But it gives you insights, goes back into his childhood in the first episode, of course, and, you get to know really why he is who he is and how he never really fit in, and of course, the struggles he went through being gay in the '50s, '60s, '70s. It wasn't
Well,
even the
that
'80s
I
was
think
still
that right there puts you makes you an outcast and,
Yeah.
social circles back in the day.
He found his people, and he
Mhm.
he felt very, free and open and whatnot, and he had some, love interest. Uh, Doggone it, the name of the one kid that's artist is driving me nuts. The Puerto Rican, Jean-Michel Bach, can't remember, not Bakhtiari. Um, that's a Packers player. But he really came on the scene in his early 20s and
Mhm.
burned bright and burned fast and burned out by the age of about 28.
Yeah.
And you just say to yourself, "Man, what would the world of art be like if these people were still around?"
I know. You think about Jimi Hendrix or any of those great artists that died before their prime or during their prime, and you're like, what would they be like today? You know?
Yeah. So,
Um,
I liked it. I found
cool.
myself watching about an episode a night because it's an hour and you wanna take time to absorb what you've seen,
Yeah,
and, don't have the little kids around. There's some very explicit artwork that pops up on the screen from time to time.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So, good stuff, though. Good stuff.
You know what? Just a quick side note. I don't have this article in our stories, but I saw an article today about a photographer. Now I sort of say his name was Charlie Daniels, but it's not right. But it's something like that. Anyway, this guy has today 36 or is it 3200 3600 rolls of undeveloped film.
Yikes.
He has been shooting rock and roll acts since the night since 68.
Well, get those things over to Walgreens or something before they expire.
Walgreens. Well, it was amazing. They did in the article, they showed a couple of pictures
Mhm.
or a few pictures, and it was like uh it was some of the Rolling Stones. It was um Rod Stewart, you name it. Any big act, you had pictures of him. I could not believe he had so many rolls of film. There
That's
was a
awesome.
picture of him sitting on a couch, and it looked like a table with just
Mm.
all those rolls of film just stacked on it. I'm so curious to see what's in those rolls of film. Anyway,
Jean-Michel Basquiat, that's what his
there you
name
go.
was.
Basquiat.
And
Anyway.
they had they had a lot of, narration in Warhol's voice, and some obviously, they had film footage of him, TV
Hmm.
interviews and whatnot, but then the overdub stuff sounded really, really good. Like,
Hmm.
there's a line in here that says, he once said, "I love Los Angeles. I love Hollywood. They're so beautiful. Everything's plastic, but I love plastic.
Right.
I want to be plastic. You know, he was such a flat person externally, but
Yeah.
he was pretty deep internally. Cool.
Hmm.
All right, you got another one?
Yeah. So I took my son to go see The Batman, which is the newer Batman incarnation with Robert Pattinson as Batman,
Okay.
and uh, Zoe Kravitz as the Catwoman.
Mhm.
And it had Colin Farrell was the Penguin, which if you don't know, if you didn't know, because I'm telling you right now that Colin Farrell, you wouldn't have recognized Colin Farrell in that movie. He was he was deep in makeup in it, but it totally looked like another
Hmm.
person. I mean, it's not like Danny DeVito was eating a fish kind of thing. It was a guy, but yeah, it was amazing the makeup. But the Batman, I thought from end to end, I thought it was a very well done film. However, it's 3 hours long, and
Oh.
in that 3 hours, there's a lot of conspiracy. Oh, somebody did this, somebody did that, somebody did that, and they did that, and it's like, it was a lot to take in. For that, they should have simplified that, I think, a lot when they developed the script. However, I thought it was well done. I was digging his costume. The sound design for that film was great. The visuals for that movie was great. So I can totally recommend this film. And I'm trying not to tell you. I don't want to. Well, I'm not going to tell you anything
Oh, Andy
that's spoiled
Serkis
it.
is in there.
Yeah, Andy Serkis is in there, and it was more. He was more of a detective working a case rather than Batman was more of a detective
Oh,
and
Jeffrey
just
Wright too. Man,
crap part.
you should have done a whole bunch.
Yeah, there was a
Jeffrey
bunch.
Wright, you know him from Westworld. That's where I
Mhm.
know him from.
So
I'm
this
looking
was a
for a
good film.
picture of the penguin.
Yeah, go look for the penguin. Yeah, you won't.
Who's the young lady that's in there? What's
Zoe Kravitz,
okay? What character does she play?
Catwoman.
Oh, she doesn't have any ears.
No, not exactly. But so I
Oh,
would
there
definitely
he
check it
is.
out.
Wow,
Yeah, I would
wow.
definitely check that out. Um, if I'm
He's
not
re-
mistaken, and I think that's maybe early information. I'm not sure, but I think April 19th the Batman will be on HBO Max, so you get a chance to see it
the
there if you want
penguin put on some COVID pounds.
to. But yeah, see, he looks convincing, but it's not the same it's the same person. Is what I'm saying.
Working from home just isn't working for him.
Yeah. So
All
anyway,
right.
it was a good movie. Harrison also had a lot of the same problems I was just laying out there. So Harrison said, what did he say? He was giving it a 7.5 or 7. I was like, probably more on the 8, but it was good. And speaking of sound design,
Hmm.
one of the things I liked was, and this is not a giveaway, but this cop was like talking to Batman. He's in a it's in an apartment, and it's just the cop and it's Batman. He goes, wait, you what are you doing in here? And Batman just looks at him. Okay, fine. And then the guy says, well, wait, don't touch that evidence. He looks at him again. Fine. All right, you're okay. Yeah. It's just, but he doesn't say anything. That's the thing.
Pretty weak argument.
No, you have to see it though. He just gives him that look with the eyes through the mask. He's like, "It's okay. It's okay." Anyway, it's really cool.
Intimidation.
Yeah.
All right. I got
Oh
one
yeah.
more. This is on Paramount Plus. It's the
Yes.
prequel. A lot of people have heard of Yellowstone, right? With the
Yes.
Dalton family and whatnot. The ranchers that are trying to keep their property, et cetera, et cetera. This is the origin story of that. It's called
Okay.
1883. It's got Sam Elliott. It's got a number of other people that are really good. Not going to mention them at this point. But the Dalton family starts off in Texas, and they're reluctantly helping this group of German, Austrian, Romanian immigrants, some Eastern European people get to Oregon.
Right.
And along the way, there is every form of death and destruction you can imagine, from drowning in a river to getting bit by a snake to getting shot by Raiders. There's a lot of stuff. Sadly, it's only one season. I was
Oh yeah, I did read that.
really digging the show. Like, no. So, it's kind of the story of how they ended up where they did in Wyoming, I believe it was, or was it Montana? I think they went to Wyoming.
Okay.
So it was. I really enjoyed it. It's narrated through their daughter, so she's telling the story about what she sees on the plains, and it's very, very deep, very poetic. She's got this older than should be attitude towards it. So
Well,
really
aren't they
cool.
coming out with another series? Um, Same vein. Instead of 1883, it's a different decade.
Could be. I don't
Yeah,
know. Hadn't heard.
I think they were supposed to do something kind of lead into it.
I'd watch
Add some
that
more to
because
it.
so far I've liked both of those. Uh, Yellowstone, I think, is 4 seasons in. It's at least 3. I think
Yeah,
4 is just coming out, but
yeah. My wife's watching that or watched all that. So
yep, good stuff. I saw
mhm.
a shirt yesterday that said, um, what's the daughter's name? The one that's just
I haven't watched it.
usually
So
drunk. Oh, Craig. Oh, you're gonna make me look it up.
go look it up quick. Come on.
All right, I'll go look it up. I'm trying to remember her name. It's not Sarah. Um, Yellowstone. Yellowstone. Kevin Costner. Da 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 da. There it is. Okay. Episodes, videos, photos, the cast. Beth. Kelly Riley plays this character, Beth Dutton. I said Dalton,
Mhm.
it's Dutton. Uh, and the shirt said, it was like, "Don't make me get all Beth Dutton on your ass," or something. Like, wow, okay. I
Okay.
mean, she's the kinda lady that'll, you know, shoot you, then stomp on your grave kinda thing. It's like, not really not a nice person at all.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot of people in this show in Yellowstone.
Yeah, Yellowstone,
N-
1883 as well. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Neil
Okay,
McDonough.
those are those
Yeah.
are our shows for Pass Me the Remote, and we are just about out of time. We're gonna wrap up with the Geek Library, which should be that button. This is a video about 3.5 minutes long of inventions that never caught on, like the underwater propeller boat or the helicopter, underwater propeller belt, I should say. The
Yeah.
train cars that can ride over one another.
I've
Because,
seen those before.
you
Not in
know,
person, but like,
yeah, well, if you only have one track, zip lines that attach to your head.
okay. I saw this, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" They're
Owie,
literally
owie, owie,
attaching
owie, 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 owie,
they're
owie,
attaching it
owie.
to somebody's hair
Yeah, pretty
on
much.
top of
Oh,
their
then it breaks loose and he falls in the water. Monowheel, the one-wheeled car. Well, Men in Black had that.
right. Yeah, they did.
A little hard to park and see where you're going.
Actually, that one looks pretty cool. You actually
Beard
are in it.
swimsuits. Because why not? Beard swimsuits. It's just like this big rubber glove that goes over your beard.
Well, what's funny is if you wait a second, you'll see the women swimming in the they're changing
The
clothes.
portable changing
Hey, look,
room.
wait a minute. They run over there and kiss the guys with the
Kiss
beard.
with the
Swim.
beard suit. You have to take it. The car jack that uses the exhaust to lift the car. I
That doesn't
don't
seem
know
that
if there's
crazy.
enough pressure to do that, but okay.
Well, it's just got to push in there. You can have a back valve, to
The
keep it from.
automatic lawnmower. Whoa, it turns corners. How does it do that? The bicycle lawnmower. Here, Johnny, get on your bike and ride across my lawn.
Don't fall over your handlebars.
Oh, and he did fall over the handlebars. The self-launching lifeboat. Whee! Away we
I know
go,
that
boy.
thing like really launched off too, didn't it?
And then he gets out and drowns. That doesn't
Yeah.
work.
It's like,
Static
oh, I'm gonna take you all with me.
The static electricity assisted haircuts, because the static electricity makes your hair stand straight up.
Hey, I
Oh,
like how the guy's pulling the lever, and you see the other guy's hair go up and go back down and go back up. It's like,
yeah.
yeah,
The mono wheel mini, because you need a small version
that's right.
instead of the family size. That does look a lot like the one on Men in Black. The
That
pedal
one does.
propelled mini scooter. This man is just gliding through town on a
That
little
doesn't look like
scooter.
crazy. Yeah, it doesn't look
No.
like crazy.
Well, it does because he takes it in the building. He's got a long overcoat over it.
Yeah, it's probably got like some midgets under there holding him.
Motorized skates. Yeah, I'd do
Which-
that.
That doesn't look that crazy. I mean,
Early version of roller skates. These are big. They had big wheels on them. But he's got a tire pump to inflate the tires.
you know what? I watched a video of a guy making those kind of wheels.
Actually,
He
this
saw
looks
this
like something
video.
that the Olympic cross country skiers
Yeah,
might use.
this guy saw a video of something similar to this, and he decided to recreate it. You know,
The
it's pretty cool.
mechanical exoskeleton for assisted walking. Well, this almost a lot like what we were just talking
This
about
is
to help the paralyzed people. Only this
Right.
is
This is how Iron Man got his start.
I'm not sure what the dish pans are for on the back. The motorized mechanical horse.
And it falls over.
That was the best end. You ruined the ending for him, but yes,
Yeah.
you must watch this. Go
Sorry.
to our Geek Library, show notes, episode 668, and be sure to watch the video in the Geek Library, Old Inventions That Never Caught On. That made us laugh, and it should make you laugh too. Our question of the week that we leave you with, because we are leaving you real soon now. Well, till next week. What is so ancient only an internet veteran can remember?
That little construction gif where the guy was shoveling.
Where the shovel really didn't look like a shovel. It looked like he had
Like
a
a
stick
triangle.
into a pile of poo or something.
Yeah, that's right.
I never could figure out quite what he was shoveling.
Yeah.
So
You know
that's our
what?
question for you. We'll get that on social media next Saturday.
I would say using hearing the dial-up tones. Although people still recognize it,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
but people don't necessarily hear it anymore.
AOL
In the
floppies
last,
for 10
20
free
years.
hours.
Huh?
AOL floppies for 10 free hours.
Yeah.
I think they eventually got up to like 1,000 or 1,500 free hours. Like,
Real Player.
oh, yeah.
Actually, I thought Real Player was awesome back in the day.
Live
'Cause
365. I think Live 365 is still around.
It might be. But yeah, Real Player was cool. I remember the first time I actually saw there's a streaming, was it
The
a baseball game?
International Birthday website. You could go there and put your name. It was like our birthday calendar. You could go. It was kind
Yeah.
of like a wiki. You just put your birthday on there, and then random people would say happy birthday to you from around the internet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It,
It's
it
like a
wasn't
guest book.
scalable, but it
Oh,
worked.
wait. Our guest book websites. Remember people had guest book hey, sign here if you came to my
Page
website.
counters.
Page counters.
Flaming logos.
Yeah.
Anything that flashed. The Flash
Oh, boy.
HTML tag. Thank goodness
Flash.
that's gone. All right, we're going to leave you on
the
that
blink
note.
tag. There you go. The blink.
Yep,
I think that's
yep,
what you're
yep.
talking about.
Gray web pages. Thank you for joining us. You can get a hold of us. Put up the contact information on the screen there, Craig.
Oh, yeah.
You can get a hold of us by calling the listener line 707-530-2428. Maybe you want to phone in what your old internet memory is.
Speaking of dial-up, phone it
707-530
in.
chat. Yeah. Or you can email us, technorama@chuckchat.com, or send a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Snail mail.
I'm not giving you my personal address at this point. If you can't find
Yeah.
it on the internet, you're not looking hard enough.
Right.
Okay. Till next time, everybody take care. Be safe. Craig, give him a binary high five.
All right. 101. Thank you for
Talk to you
listening.
again real soon. Bye. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
You know, I listen to a lot of other podcasts. They just sound dull.
I agree. I
They're
totally
not-
agree.
They're not having as much fun.
That's right.
I like I said, I was watching Sirach Lofton and Ryan Husk do Seventh Rule.
Yes.
I sure hope our show analysis doesn't sound that boring.
You know what? I tried to watch that. I think they had it on Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube a lot. Yeah.
So I happened to see, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch this for a second. Yeah, it was.
And they tried doing that on stage too. They didn't really do a show analysis. Most of it was about the show. Like, okay, so I'm sitting here. I left most of the way through, and then they said, "Oh, we got our, whatever it is, the Star Trek sisters over there," because they said, I didn't recognize Ryan because honestly, I never watched the show until then. He came out and we were sitting by the chairs that lead to the backstage door. If you're
Right.
looking at the stage, the seats over on the left.
Mhm.
And I was sitting there going, "Hey, they're talking about podcasts. If they need somebody to talk about podcasts, I'll be close by." Well, behind me, there were a couple of people, and uh, Ryan came out before the show and started talking to them. He goes, "Hey, you want to be on the show?" I said, "Sure." And he looked at me like, "I'm not talking to you."
Yeah.
He says, "You want to talk about microphones?" Like, I've got credentials to talk about that.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm the co-author of Podcasting for Dummies. I've been podcasting for 17 years. He goes, "What's the name of the show?" I said, "Well, I got 3, but you probably
Which one
recognize
should
the
pick?
topic is Trek." And he looked at me like, "Never heard of it, dipshit. Go away." He wanted to
That's
these
what he
were his
said?
friends. No, he didn't say that, but that was the look on his face. He's like, "I'm talking to my friends here." Yeah. So, about 4:45, it was like 4 to 5 o'clock, and about 4:45, they call those people, and you could tell Sirach kept looking up at them, and they were sitting right behind me. So I got these great pictures of Sirach looking at me, but he wasn't looking at me.
Right.
Uh, it's they called him up, and that's about when I left. It's like, I don't need to listen to somebody else. They're really not talking about much of anything in this thing. So
Mm.
I didn't leave out of spite. I had to go somewhere else, and I went, "Well,
Yeah.
this sounds like a
I'm
good
outta
time to
here.
leave."
Throw
Yeah.
paper down or whatever and walk out.
You talk about microphones and see if anybody here really wants it.
Who
It's
wants
like
to talk about that, don't it?
it was at the very end. It was at the very end. They were just kind of promoting their own show, going, what seventh rule is, and they talked about um, Aaron Eisenberg and how the show got started and how he named it and how they all got together
Mhm.
it's like and how Sirach is going through and watching these shows for the first time because when he was working on the show, he didn't have time to watch the show, so his it's like yeah. It was very meta and not
Mm.
very exciting. So yeah, I'm not bitter that they didn't ask me on stage. It would have been cool, but like somehow even though I left, I don't think they got the most out of talking about microphones, and that's not what they were talking about anyway. I think that was just sort of a ploy to get them
Who
on
wants to
stage,
talk
but
about that? Yeah.
not on a Star Trek cruise. It's like if you're holding a podcast clinic, sure.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Hey, wait till the Podcasting for Dummies cruise in 2023.
I'll call Wiley on that.
Cruise for Dummies
We'll
cruise.
see if T is available.
The Cruise for Dummies cruise.
T only shows up to do his keynote and then leaves.
Yeah. That's right. Drops the
I'm
mic,
getting
walks
off
out.
this boat at NASA.
That's right. NASA. That's right.
All righty. Let's do the other show.
All right.
Where's my list of topics? Okay. 3.
Hey. Oh, yeah, wait. So, all right. Goodbye, everybody. We got to end broadcasting.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh, we kind of aired our dirty laundry on that one.